Zherka pulled up on him in Miami when he was at a restaurant. Like, he was drunk eating dinner with his girlfriend. Zherka pulls up with gloves on, like UFC gloves, not like boxing, like UFC gloves. And he's like, all right, come on, let's go, let's fight. He's like throwing stuff at him, like hits his girlfriend. And that's when
girlfriend.
Yeah.
So let's do it, guys. This is the Riv Podcast, episode 53. We're reinventing it. If you haven't noticed, we changed the channel logo. I guess I added podcast to it because it was just the Rift. Now it's the Rift Podcast. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe actually, honestly, you probably didn't even notice. Parker, did you even notice?
No, I thought your little sister got and scribbled on her thing, actually.
Sam, that's not what you said before.
Sorry.
I know you're just going to roast me as soon as...
No, yeah, I definitely looked. I mean, the old one was cool, but it was just like, it almost looked...
It's like too overdone.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell what it was, I guess.
Yeah.
It just looked like a pattern or something.
Yeah, which is honestly what it was. I literally used Mid-Journey and
Yeah.
Mid-Journey to make it. But, so... We were talking a little bit before we started the podcast about pretty much influencers right now. And I mean, I guess influencers nowadays are like movie stars because there's not really like movies anymore, you know? Like people are so involved in these influencers' life on a day-to-day basis that it's like they're celebrities, so you want to talk about them, you know? Or sorry, people want to hear about them, which I don't know why.
It's not really even like, yeah, they're influencers, but it's mainly the streamers. Like people who people see all day, every day.
And maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they talk about them, because I guess if you stream, which, first off, what kind of life is that? Is that a life? Is that a life that you would want to live? I don't know.
I mean, if I could stream and make, like Aiden Ross's life, yeah, I think that's a good life.
Really?
I don't like how I don't like his personality. Like if I was in that situation, I'd be a lot different than he is. But then again, that's probably why I'm not in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm not over the top.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I think, I mean, that was kind of how Jake Paul and Logan Paul went. It's almost like, because at least acting, right? Like Leonardo DiCaprio, we don't know who he is, you know?
yeah.
Like he's hidden, and he doesn't want us to know who he is either, because he's hidden behind the character that he plays. And so he can simply turn that off, right? Because the break between reality and fiction, there is a break. It's okay, the camera's rolling, action, now, boom, we click into our character. Cut, now we're into reality, right? Whereas with social media, there's no cut or action. It's simply, like, I think, which, how do I remember that? I don't know. I don't follow any of this kind of stuff, but I saw somewhere that FouseyTube guy, he did like a month-long stream or something.
Yeah.
Like he was sleeping.
No, yeah, he was sleeping, showering, everything.
Like what?
And then he went to jail.
Oh,
On stream.
no way.
Yeah.
On purpose?
No. He like went mentally insane again. 'Cause that's the thing with Fousey. He's had like 3 or 4 different times now where he's like popping and then he has like a mental breakdown, like starts going crazy, and then he is like put in a institution and like disappears for a year.
All right.
And he comes back and he's healthy again. And as soon as he gets real famous again, he's like gets going crazy again. Then he goes to the top, goes back to the institution. He's done it like 3 times now.
So hear me out. I mean, I'm all about extreme accountability, right? And making sure, like, obviously it's his fault, right? He's the mentally insane one. It's not, you can't blame that on YouTube. You can't blame that on streaming. Or you can't blame that on audience. But that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago, right? When they didn't have streaming. Because think about it. I would go mentally insane if there were thousands of people watching my every single move And as they watched me move at my every single move, then I made money off of that. Right?
Yeah.
So the more people that you get that watch your every single move, the more money that you make. So instead of having I get if one person's watching me, like if I'm working out and someone like starts staring at me, I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, why are you? And it's different with a camera, right? Because technically people are watching us right now, but it's not real time, right? It's not like I'm live streaming, right? It's not real time. So if I do something, like if I accidentally knock this over and then it goes in this electric thing and then a fire comes up, burns the house down. Well, this video probably won't go up to thousands of people, right? But if that's on a live stream, it will. And that's part of the appeal of the live stream is it's live action, you know? You never know what could happen. What could happen next? You never know. Which I guess is appealing because you said he went to jail for it. Which that was probably a bit entertaining to watch.
Oh yeah, no, that clip went viral, and everyone's like, I remember like somebody called him another streamer, I guess, like a smaller streamer who doesn't like him, and they were arguing over the phone, and the guy started saying that he was calling the cops on Fuzi for doing something that he like didn't do. Like the dude was just like messing with him because he knew he was like going insane. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm calling the cops on you because you robbed me or something. And he's like, I didn't rob you. I didn't. I getting mad. He's like. He hangs up on it. He's like, oh, I'm gonna call the cops first. They know that like I didn't do it. So he calls the cops and he's like, I'm being kidnapped. Help! And just hangs up because he's trying to like get the cops there for him, thinking they're gonna help him. Well, they get there and then he starts getting at the cops and he gets arrested for the fake phone call he wasn't really getting. And the other guy never called the cops or anything. So the other dude's the reason that he went over the edge again, but it's not his.
It's a troll.
Yeah.
And we're talking about him. I
Exactly.
bet he got a bunch of followers and stuff.
But the thing is, like, main reason I was thinking about these influencers, like, pretty much what it is like reliving high school drama. I think that's what people watch for.
Well, not only it's drama in general.
Well, I know, but it's like...
But it is.
It's like high
for
school
most people relating
drama.
to it. Yeah.
So, like, I was watching the other day, and... they were all at some house. They all went to some...
Who's they?
There's a lot of them. So I'm trying to think of the kid's house.
Just streamers?
You know who Jack Doherty is? Or Doherty?
Yeah, Doherty. Yeah, he's that kid.
Yeah.
He really grinds my gears,
Yeah,
dude.
he's like joined the group of like Aiden and Sneeko and Zherka and all them. Like he's joined that realm of people. And with like he
How old is he? Isn't he like 20? No,
probably
18?
He's probably late teens.
Yeah.
He might be 20. But he still looks like he's like 14, 15. Like he looks super young. But he had, I don't know if it was like somebody he was renting out or his actual house he had, but he had all these big influencers over there for a party. And like half of them were beefing with each other over online. And like they brought them all there for content, so they'd argue in front of each other. And there was like 3 different viral clips of like Fuzi slapping. Like I'm pretty sure he slapped Jack Doherty or Doherty, however you say it, like slapped him in the face because they were arguing. And I was like, when's the last time like you just see 2 guys arguing like slap, like that's high school drama? And like it was something like he said your mom, he said like your mom something. And they get in a fight. I'm like, they're like, Fuzi's 35 years old or something.
That guy's something different.
Making mom jokes to a 16-year-old.
Dude, he was the one at San Diego State when Bryce Hall and all those guys came to our house.
Yeah.
He's the one that like instigated the whole fight and everything because he was hanging out with Bryce Hall, whoever those other kids that they hang out together with. We were like, what are you doing here? You're a 35-year-old man. We've never brought anybody older than 25 years old into this house. What are you doing here?
Yeah, that's what but he's like as corny as it is, he's like probably the one person that stayed the most relevant from like how long ago he started to now, because he just continuously goes back to the new group that's up and coming and hangs out with them.
Does.
And they'll take him because they'll know he's content. Like Aiden knows that if I get him on stream and piss him off, he's gonna do some crazy stuff and it's gonna blow up, which has happened multiple times.
Exactly.
But the main thing I want to bring was there's this new guy he's like kind of blowing up too. His name's like HS. I searched his name before we started, so I know his name. It's HS Tiki Talkie, and I'm assuming he blew up on TikTok. But he's like this British. He's black. He's probably mid or early 20s, and he's actually pretty like smart. Like I can tell by like he's kind of like how Sneeko was when he first started. Like base takes, so like W takes, and then Sneeko's kind of went different directions. But he's kind of like that guy to me, like how I see him. Well, him and Zherka's the other guy that blew up recently. I don't know what he did. He's just like another like knockoff Andrew Tate type thing. And he's a big guy. He used to be a bouncer. He's like probably 6'4", 220 to 250. And he's always talking about how like none of these influencers will box him because he'll destroy anybody and all this stuff. And honestly, I was like, honestly, he does look like I wouldn't want to fight him. Like he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And so him and that HS guy were beefing over Twitter, and like I think Aiden was setting it up, like saying they like trying to get Zherka to go beat up HS or something like that, which is like high school drama. Like imagine like telling another grown man, I need you to go beat up this grown, like what? So then like that's already going on. Well, I guess this HS guy's out on a date with his girlfriend. Like not even like he has like girls on his stream all the time, but he said like after he's like, this wasn't like a stream girl. Like this is my in life girlfriend. I don't put her on internet or anything. And so I don't know if he found his location somehow, but Zherka pulled up on him in Miami when he was at a restaurant. Like he was drunk eating dinner with his girlfriend. Zherka pulls up with gloves on, like UFC gloves, not like boxing, like UFC gloves and like athletic wear. He's like, all right, come on, let's go, let's fight. He's like throwing stuff at him, like hits his girlfriend. And
hits
that's
his
when
girlfriend.
Yeah, like threw a water bottle, and he said he threw a water bottle. HS said he threw a glass at him, but so he's like, dude, stop! Like I'm not fighting you, whatever. And then Zherka just kept on like, come on, yanking his shirt. He like threw a punch at him, and HS like weaved it, and he's like, all right, screw it. So he like walks out in the street. HS is probably 6', I don't know how tall he is, but he's a skinny dude. Like he's not a big guy, especially not compared to Zherka.
Okay,
and
Zherka's the bouncer?
Yeah.
So what kind of guy, first off, is going to approach another guy from beef online, like without I mean, so here's the deal, all right? Was this all staged?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
You don't think, but you don't know. Could be.
But the same way going, like, you don't know it was staged, but you think.
No, I agree.
It's the
I
same,
agree.
like,
no, I agree. But that's my point, because for me, someone did that to me, dude. Like, I don't know. I guess like you don't pull up. Like I don't instigate. You throw whatever the hell you want to. Like, it's not. I'm leaving. Like, because it's one of those things. Like for Fuzi, if that guy called him and told him all this stuff, the fact that he retaliated put him in jail.
Well, that's what. But
right?
you also haven't seen the video, so. He throws the water bottle and he walks up and he's like, it's like an outside dining area, like sitting on a patio. And he's like right next to like the rope separating the patio from like the sidewalk.
Okay.
And that's where Zherka comes up and throws the water bottle, like gets in his face. And HS trying to stand up. He like has his arm like holding Zherka back. He's like, dude, like chill, like I'm not fighting you here or whatever. And he's like, we can go to a gym and I'll fight you, whatever. And Zherka's like they're both in each other's face. And now they're just like sitting there talking. And then Zherka just throws a punch at him and he like weaves it. And then he's like still trying to fight him. So he really didn't have like he's either kind of like fight or get bitched at that point.
Yeah, but you got to get bitched. You got to eat it. You got to eat it because of.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't.
Because
yeah, so he gets down the road with him, and mind you, he's drunk with his girlfriend in like designer clothes, pants, and Zherka's boxing gloves, athletic wear, 6'4", big dude. So they start going. Automatically, HS clocks him. He falls. He's like on his back. He's like on top of him. Zherka's like way bigger, so he's like trying to crawl, like get on top of him. He finally gets on top, but HS like he looked like he knew how to fight. Like he's like pushing away from him, getting away, and what's his name? Zherka, his shirt like ends up like over his head, like he's almost like stripped naked out in the street. When he pulled up on this dude, he's like 2 times his size. He just got straight like embarrassed, and now everybody like you cannot find a single person defending Zherka. I think he's done for. Like, yeah, like everyone's like, that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Like, there's no way.
Well, good.
Yeah, even yeah, exactly. And even the people who did like him, they're like, dude, like I don't know how I can stand with him after this one.
Yeah, like maybe that's
just
just karma for the fact that like you're gonna pull up on a guy like that, like that. So, okay. So I mean, it's 2 things. One, that HS guy should have been the bigger person and just said, "You're a loser for the fact that you even came up and did this. I'm gonna walk out." Done. Right? That's what should have happened. Okay. He pushes you to the edge. You know, he starts throwing water on girlfriend, touches my girlfriend. All right, now we have problems. Now I'm going to kill you. Like, I'm literally going to rip your head off, right? So then you go, and then, I mean, what cannot happen is you lose.
Yeah.
That cannot happen at all. Because if if he instigated the fight to happen and you don't teach him a lesson, then there's big problems.
Which even in that scenario, like, I think no matter what happens there, Zherka takes an L. Because, like, even if Zherka would pull up on him and whooped him,
like, what guy?
I think he will be more mad and be like, did you really just come up on him when he was, like,
bigger
drunk?
Guy.
You're bigger and you just beat him in the middle of the street? Like,
in front of his girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. And then there'd probably be charges and everything. So, I mean, like, either way, he kind of gets a win, but he got the maximum win by absolutely embarrassing this guy 2 times his size. Like, I was laughing watching the video. I was like, that's hilarious. Oh, that's good stuff.
Well, all that stuff, man, it's just, like, very interesting for the fact that, like, this wouldn't have happened 20 years ago. We wouldn't be talking about this. Or it would have happened, but we wouldn't be talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know who Ric Flair is, right?
Yeah.
He talked about, if you guys don't know who Ric Flair is, he's a WWE guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, WWE wrestler. And he would go around, I think it was mostly like North Carolina. They would go around and they would do like tours or whatever, doing the WWE deals. They're big guys. And when they would go, they would show up to these bars. Like they would go wrestle during the day or like into the nighttime. And then after the fight or after they wrestled, then they would go to the bars. Well, these bars are like small town country guys. Well, the small town country, when you're a small town, you realize that the people there are a lot different than bigger towns because there's not as much of them. So the biggest guy in that town, he's got the biggest ego. But if he went, it's like the big fish in a small pond, right? If that big fish then went into a bigger pond, then he's the small fish again. Well, Ric Flair he was a big fish in the big pond when he would go around. And so he'd show up with him and all of his other WWE buddies. And he said he would just get in a bunch of fights. Pretty much after every single thing, he would go like get with the hottest girl there or whatever. Turns out that girl had a boyfriend, and that boyfriend was whatever, and they'd fight. And he said they just whoop their ass all the time. He said that like this happened 4 times a week. They would go around and they would do this. Get in fights 3-4 times a week. Heck, my dad's talked about it. He's like, yeah, we would get in fights like, once a month or so. Boys would pull up, we'd fight. No one would know it. We'd whoop some ass. The next day, like someone comes to school with a black eye. No one really knows because he's not going to talk about it and say, oh, he beat my ass. Yeah. He's just going to say, oh, it's nothing, no, whatever. And so none of that stuff got spread out to people. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. It was like, yeah, you got your ass kicked. Now learn how to fight better so you can go beat other people's asses, right? Yeah. Whatever it was. Where nowadays it's like, oh my God. And so when his fight starts happening, it's instantly on video. Instant, right there. So it's on video. So then it's like, then you can determine who deserves to get punished or not, right?
Yeah, and that was the other funny part about it was, obviously Zherka had like a camera guy following him. That's how it was all live streamed. Mm-hmm. And like HS was with his girlfriend who doesn't get on streams or anything, so he doesn't have any camera or anything with him. Yeah. And so at the very end of the fight, like after Zherka's shirt's pulled up over his head and he's like confused and beaten, like pretty sure had a black eye and stuff, he's like finally like holding on to HS's legs, like he's finally like getting on top of him, like in the middle of the street, like a busy road in Miami, and everyone's like yelling like stop, and the cameraman for Zherka's like sitting there recording. He's like, stop it, guys, stop it, stop. Like sitting there recording, and HS like he's on the bottom, but he still like has control. Zherka, he's looking at the camera. He's like, are you serious? Like, are you recording? And he's like, are you for real right now? Like, completely like in control of the situation, just like calling him out for videoing it too. So it's even funnier because like they just got completely embarrassed when they. I thought it was great.
Well. Yeah, the times nowadays, dude, it's different times. All those streamers and stuff. That's why I don't pay attention to it. That's why I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to go try to do the best for this world, try to give them the most value as I can. Keep on doing that and provide it to you guys. So if this podcast you think was valuable to you, let us know. Obviously, it's just entertainment. We're just trying to kind of get in with everyone. Or just kind of, heck, honestly, like after, I don't know, it gives you kind of different perspective on stuff, I guess. As far as streaming goes, whatever, social media, all that kind of stuff. It's like, is it really worth our time? I don't know. If you did enjoy, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we rebranded everything, but we still are going to be here every Monday and Friday. So we appreciate you watching, joining, viewing. As always, take it easy. Peace.